I call the shots, I never call it quits. Trust my intuition, bet it's right and bitch, it often is. Seen too many others come and go, they had the wrong intent. Do it out of love and never for it, then I watch it get bigger than expected. No second guess it, I let it set it. It's God's plan, we out here only accepting blessings. I'm stuck with it, this mindset is terminal. In and out different terminals, leveling up is personal. And I already made it, y'all can miss me. I smack my girl's ass, tell her pinch me. It's hard to believe I made something from nothing. No hindsight discussions, I've been writing, I love it.
Welcome to the 3 Gig Sports Podcast, where we are never wrong, just sometimes misinformed. Jimmer and DannyG rolling tonight, baby.
Yeah.
What's up, brother?
Not much. Had an very interesting weekend last weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people did.
Yeah. So when we do get to that, I guess when we're talking about stuff we need to chat about, we do have some MMA.
Absolutely.
And some other news that might have came with that too. I don't know if you saw that about Islam.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'll end up searching that up, but interesting, messed up weekend. That will be a 3-part series story for Make Sense if you don't think about it, but for a future date. But there's definitely some stuff in there that'll
Wild.
make that'll make people be like, what the fuck? But other than that, glad to be back, glad to be rolling, and ready to rock.
Ready to rock.
So you've seen all this stuff with obviously a Super Bowl victory, right?
Yeah, I don't know. If you don't know, Chiefs won.
Yeah, Chiefs
anyway.
won by now. Pretty damn entertaining game, right?
Yeah, definitely.
The Chiefs, we won that because we're like, all right, we're jumping on the script.
We are jumping on the script. We bet on that bitch all day.
We're on that. We're like, fuck this. We're not going against Patty because they want him to be the next Tom Brady-ish guy, so they have something to sell. And it all kind of came to fruition on a much smaller scale this time. So I do want to touch on the I don't think there's anything real bad blatant for the most part in this game. I think the Chiefs were going to win this game regardless at the end. But you don't call that might have been pass interference. It was technically, or illegal contact on James Bradbury, who admits it too. But you don't call that. Not and that was so ticky tack right there. What also is missed, if you want to look up the video replay of that, Danny, it was illegal motion by that same player. He was moving forward because he came across and he's angled and he was moving forward before the ball was snapped.
Yeah, like we talk about this all the time, right? You could always call a penalty. Every single play, there could be something, right? I think what people get hung up, though, like, should it have been called? I don't know. I think you let him play, but whatever. It wasn't – everybody's focused on that, like, split second before he was legit loose and was trying to make a break for the ball. But it was before that, in my opinion. That's where he grabbed him the most and wasn't let him go. And then what the cameras tended to focus on was it seemed like he just barely grabbed him, but it was just enough. I thought he held him more than what people thought, but at the same time, like, to your point, the Chiefs were dicing him up in the second half. It didn't matter. They scored every fucking possession.
Yep. They
were going to end up winning the game, so it didn't matter. But yeah, I don't think you call that, man.
I don't think you call it in the heat of that. They hadn't been calling that all day. There's stuff like that. Like we were just saying, you call it almost every play on any version, offense, defense, doesn't matter. In that particular moment, I don't know you call it just because then you don't put the excuse out there, because you also have because now if you remember the throw was nowhere near anybody, and that wasn't because that little tug on the jersey. Right. Now, that being said, they were in field goal range already. They were already in field goal range. All you have to complain about, I'm gonna go with, I believe Harrison would have made that regardless, no matter if it was from 15, 20 yards deeper, 30 yards, whatever it was. But I think he would have. I think they were that in the zone, right? The only debate you have as a Philly fan is that it cost you some time to go down the field. Jalen Hurts had one hell of a game.
You know what costed him more time?
What's that?
Old boy could have scored a touchdown and he slid. Who is it? Is it McKinnon? Who's the
yes.
Remember that?
Yep.
So they were trying to let him score.
Yep.
And he doesn't get enough credit for that, man.
He doesn't.
You have an opportunity to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and you don't.
Yeah.
To help your team win the game. That's fucking huge.
That
was big, in my opinion.
What they should have figured out right there is, like, if you had the presence of mind, you're just thinking that someone's just going to run in and you stay off. What you should have done was actually push him into the end zone, get behind him and shove him, because you know his mindset should be that he goes down. Most, like you just said, the excitement of the moment and the touch and the possibility of scoring a touchdown in the Super Bowl. A lot of times people slip up and just go in. Kudos to Jarek for not, but the Eagles should have taken that opportunity out of his hands and gotten behind him to shove him in.
Yeah, it's not only...
Because they kind of just, like, stopped, right?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody just waited. It's not only let them score, try to help them if they get that close. Because if they go down, it's a first down. That's going to waste so much more time.
Yep.
Yeah.
No time. That being said, like I said, I think they were winning that game regardless. I don't think that was the pivotal play in that. I just think you just erase doubt. Just don't call that. That is all I'm getting at and with that one. So they both have bright-ass futures still, and it sickens me.
Yeah, man. It's, you talked about this earlier in the year. Like, Philly doesn't do much in the second half, and that bit them in the ass this game.
Yeah.
Because Kansas City went on a tear. They were just dicing them up. But, yeah, props to KC for sure.
You've seen the little Twitter battle, right?
Yeah, with Juju.
Juju's putting, like, a Valentine's Day card out there to Bradbury. I can't remember what it said. Something about, like, get a hold on you or something like that. It's like a snippet of that play.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown came to, like, his defense and, like, somebody else, too, before they could. And they're like, bro, you were, like, a step out of the league. Mahomes, resurged you.
He did, yeah.
So I like a little Twitter battle when players go back and forth.
100%. Juju had a good game, though, too. 7 receptions, something like that. Like, he came alive in the second half. He was huge for him. So I like the battle, though, back and forth. As long as people don't get butthurt, like, just do it,
Absolutely. Speaking of which, I wanted to keep going with the Mahomes. So I told you, doing a little TikToking like I usually when I'm waiting for kids. And there's a lot of videos out there. A lot of people. It started with someone's Twitter that sent it out that said they're someone with the NFL. Like, I can't remember what the name was. It was like SML-NFL or something like I can't remember. But it was some dude. Put on their breaking news. That the post Super Bowl drug test came back and Patrick Mahomes came back dirty for basically painkillers, but PEDs of some kind. And there's a lot of people riding, not just with the statement, but they actually started looking at it. There's been video of, like, him in excruciating pain before halftime, like on the sideline. You could see him making faces and everything, can't then come out, no problem. And I told you about the one, and what was it? What'd you say? Varsity Blues, right?
Yeah.
Varsity Blues. There's a scene, and someone cut the face. I love the internet. Someone cut the faces off, and there's a scene in there at the very end that the starting running back had, like, popped his knee at, like, before halftime, and he's on the trainer's bench right there, and the coach and the trainer, and they're about to inject him, basically a painkiller, so that you can still run. And the wide receiver, Tweeter, remember?
Tweeter.
And James Vanderbeek, can't remember his character's name. Not Knox. It's something short. Either way, they come in like, Coach, I don't think you should do that. We heard a pop. And someone took the faces off. The coach in the movie, they put Andy Reid's face on there, and then they put Patrick Mahomes' face on the running back that's on the bench or on the training desk. He's like, you know nothing about dedication and winning. Get out of here. And Mahomes just like this. Like, my question to you, Danny G, is I don't think it would ever happen. But my question to you is, if it did come back that you find out that he did use something like that, something illegal, so that you could get through the game and tough it out, should they strip the Super Bowl trophy from the Chiefs?
I'm with you in the fact that they won't.
Right.
Even if something came out, the NFL would cover that shit up,
Yep.
But, no, I don't think they should strip it from him.
No?
No.
Super Bowl MVP?
No, I think what's done is done.
That one I'll disagree with. The Super Bowl MVP, because you could have made the argument that Super Bowl MVP probably could have went to the opposing quarterback.
Yeah. If he didn't drop the ball and let the Chiefs score a touchdown.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big deal.
But I'm like, maybe you could make the argument to get it taken away. I'm like, I always flash back to one reason. The reason why I bring it up is Reggie Bush. Clear cut the best player in college football, right? It doesn't matter what team he would have played on. He could have played for Appalachian State.
Yeah, wouldn't have mattered.
Wouldn't have mattered, right? And you still strip his Heisman, right? Yeah. Because of illegal benefits.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I say, like,
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I know.
No, I don't think they would. That's
right.
all it is.
We're slowly becoming Chiefs fans. It's so much easier to swallow that pill instead of
just agree
instead
with
of battling with it. Take it. By the way, Kansas City, the city is a shithole. Shithole. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had to be on something, right? His ankle's already rolled up from the last, month of football. There was at least 2 plays that I can remember where he got it rolled up again. Not to say Philly was doing anything dirty, but when he'd get tackled, he'd get it rolled up, with a defender. Yep. One of those was when he grimaced off. Obvious, really bad pain. And then he came back, seemed to be 100%. So I don't know what they're doing, what kind of magic it is.
Ibuprofen?
Yeah. 800 milligrams. Yeah, ibuprofen. Yeah.
Fast-acting ibuprofen and like a protein bars. Make sure it doesn't upset your tummy when the pills are going in.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm sure it was 100% legal, though.
Yeah. Played great.
That right there is the reason. And I understand it's the Super Bowl versus the playoffs, Danny. But that right there, and I know what you're going to say too, but that's what I got to give some love to Patrick. Like, you're in the game. The playoffs are a different beast. This is where, to back what I was saying about Lamar, strap up and go. I understand what you're going to say, and that's Patrick Mahomes has already been paid. Old boy's trying to get his. I do understand that, but it's like when you're out there and you're the leader of the team, they're looking at and that means they would go to the death for you when they see you out there battling for them. You know what I'm saying? So it just helps emphasize what I believe. Like,
yeah,
take the millions. I want millions.
I know. I wish I could argue over 100 versus 200 million.
Right. Like, well, I can't put myself in that place because we're not making a chance of 100 million, 200 million, whatever, $50 million a year on the table. So I know my competitive nature. I know that I would. Still, I may step out of bounds 4 yards sooner or something, or whatever, but
sure.
I'm still going to strap up because I still think I'm better than the person behind me, right? That's my nature. I still give us the best shot at winning. I don't know if you saw this. And I thought this was a joke. Like I thought someone just like made it up. But it is actually on the ESPN.
Ooh.
Tiger Woods, did you see what he did to JT?
That's fucking great.
Oh my God.
Dude, he is the best.
Oh my God. And now he has to apologize, by the way. That's where we're at. Tiger Woods apologizes for prank during the Genesis Invitational. So context to it was he didn't mean to offend anybody what he called a prank, and it was to Justin Thomas. After Woods' tee shot went 20 yards past Justin Thomas's ball on the 9th hole, Woods covertly passed a tampon to Thomas' right hand as they walked down the fairway. Thomas immediately dropped it to the ground, and Woods put his arm around Thomas' shoulder as they laughed. So Justin Thomas wasn't offended by it, But, this day and age, evidently, I laughed my ass off. Like, when I first seen him, I started laughing. I'm like, that can't be true. There's no way Tiger put a fucking head of Tampax fucking and passes it over. But, yeah, it was all, like, cupped in there. Like,
that's just prime. That's way past his prime. Tiger putting it on the table. Just saying, I still got it.
I still got it. What's up?
Yeah, that shit was so funny.
I love to see that sense of humor there. You said you had something for me.
Yeah, just touch back on the Kansas City Philly thing. So I was listening to some former NFL player. I can't remember who it was, but it was on Cowherd today or yesterday, recently. And he was talking about how easy it is for Philly to get the 3rd and 1, 4th and 1s. And it's been that way all year. They're like 90%. They get it every fucking time. You saw it in the Super Bowl. Every 4th and 1 they got, including at the end zone. And he's basically saying he all but guarantees that the NFL is going to figure out a way to make a rule change so they can't use that, I guess, offensive style, offensive play, however you say it. And his logic, it doesn't make sense, right?
Yep.
His logic, though, is the NFL does everything in its power to get rid of guarantees and boring football. And that covers both of those things, right? The play is basically a guarantee, and it's not fun to watch. It's especially for like the serious football watchers. Like if you're just in which that's a lot of what the Super Bowl is people that don't watch it every day.
Right.
So he's pretty much guaranteeing that the NFL is going to do some kind of rule change, so they can't do that. I don't know what that'll look like, but I wanted to get your take on what you thought.
I shouldn't say you can't, because they've proven to do this. They've proven to do this over the last, 20 years? Especially a lot of ridiculous rule changes to make the offense, make it more entertaining, more high-flying, but they also don't like predictable. That's also the reason why they move the extra point back. They don't want you to think that this is a slam dunk, right?
Right.
I could see them doing it. They should not do that. Everybody knows, like, when you're basically handcuffed. You're telling somebody what they need to run on offense. You're not allowed to run this style of offense right here, like in this moment. Like it's part of the game. Like I said, offensive lineman, when it's 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, big bodies in, right? Extra offensive lineman, extra defensive lineman, plugging holes. And then you'll get the play action off of that too, right? Every so often you'll get the play action because everyone thinks it's going to dive, and then so it takes that part of the play out too. Yeah. You know? Hell no, they shouldn't. That's not. I see where Colin's coming from. I think they could. I think they may even do something along the lines. Maybe it's something we don't notice. You can't have so many offensive linemen down at one time. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to bring him in, an extra offensive lineman, he's going to have to line up as a tight end. You know, like you're back even further because you have to be off the line. You only can have so many people on the line.
It's tough, right? Like, because this is fundamentals to me.
Yeah.
And one thing I think they did a really good job of during the Super Bowl was emphasizing how low Philly gets.
Yep.
You saw that, right? They are so low. You know exactly what they're doing. You can't do anything about it. Yep. It's fucking. I'm surprised way more teams don't focus on shit like that. Because that's such a big play, man. 3rd and 1, you get rid of your punter basically if you're doing 4th and 1 every single time. Like, but I don't know. I don't think they should get rid of it. But the words of wisdom from these gentlemen think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. So this is the one I was. Well, first off, we're gonna see. They always got to mess with something. You know what rule change they need to make, Danny? Make defense popular again. It is a violent sport. It's supposed to be. I'm not saying not to take care of people's safety and shit. Like, yes, you should find them by when you lead with the head. You know, try to teach them form tackling. That's how you try to teach them form tackling, right? Teach them at a younger age, and then find them if they do it. You know, like that's how you train yourself. I don't want to, but dude, it's a violent sport. You know, you can't. I'm tired of seeing an edge rusher make it back there, and he needs to be so careful on how he tackles the quarterback that he lets go half the time, and the quarterback gets to extend the play, and then they end up getting out of it when it should have been a sack. You know, I don't like seeing that these wide receivers can just run free back there, and obviously that's me saying it with one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver in the game and on my team. He should have free reign back there. That doesn't make him any better either. You know, like, hold on, go. Do you think that shit would have happened even in the very early 2000s, like the Ravens defense, like their secondary? No, you're getting popped, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring defense back is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, the annoying thing is they like to hide behind that we're doing it for player safety bullshit, but that's not why they do it. It's all the money goes to the skill players. And if you hurt the skill players, especially quarterback, but then you go wide receiver, then you know what I mean?
Yep.
The owners are losing money because they're paying for guys that aren't even be able to, they're not on the field.
And people want to see points.
Yeah, it all ties back to money. Exactly. Then when the skill players are there, they score more points, make more money. So they hide behind that shit, but that's not real. I agree, man. They need to bring it back. It would be if the XFL or CFL or whichever one, if they brought defense back, they'd probably bump their goddamn ratings if they made it, like football used to be.
Yep. I'm challenging you to 2 things right now on the spot. I want you to look up the XFL teams. I want you to commit to a team right now. Right on the spot, team that you're going to ride with.
Okay.
Because they have relaunched. They have some sweet-ass jerseys coming through, actually. I'm down to 2, but I'm putting you on the spot to where you make your spot. And then I want you to do it for the USFL also.
All right, I'll do XFL now. I'll do USFL in a little bit. Let's
Okay.
look at XFL. I'm on the XFL website right now. Shout out Rock. Okay.
Boom. Can you, before you make the call, can you name them as you go down?
Yeah, their website isn't. Let me see.
Isn't very good.
No.
There's something to work on,
Teams.
Johnson. We're trying to help
there we
you.
go. Okay. So, all right. I'll do the same. I'll narrow it down to 2. Ooh. All right, I'm going to go San Antonio Brahmas.
Okay.
For the Rock, the Brahma Bull. And then, first of all, Seattle Sea Dragons. Get the fuck out of here. That's terrible. Vegas Vipers will be my number 2. I'm going to go between those 2.
Okay. So, I'm going to make sure I get them right. Because when I say that, when I say, hey, put you on the spot like that, I don't want to mix up the 2 leagues. So, that is a pretty sweet. The Brahma, I didn't see the Brahma's logo before. I'm gonna ride with the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna ride with. Can you go against like a Texas-based team? Like really, when it comes to football, when we have a chance to jump on, it's not the Cowboys.
I know, man.
I'm gonna go with the Houston Roughnecks, I think. And I'll give you a reason for the St. Louis Battlehawks. Do you realize that they led when the XFL was in full motion for that half season before COVID, all that shit broke down, The average attendance for these games were somewhere between 18 and 21,000. Somewhere in that ballpark, Danny. The Battlehawks averaged 28,000. They had tailgating. And I shit you not.
Let's go.
And they get behind their team. They were highly disappointed when they lost the Rams, and they got behind this team. So I'm gonna go ahead. That's the reason I'm gonna ride with that one. And the other one's just purely because it's a Texas team. Like you gotta pick. It's football, right? I'm gonna go ahead and pick one, and it's not looking like I'm jumping on that. And I kind of have a little soft spot for the Houston Texans, right?
That's the truth.
They got a little soft spot.
All right, I tell you what. I pulled up USFL. I'm going to pick one right now.
Ooh.
I like the Houston Gamblers name, but I feel like they're really good, so I can't hop on a wagon.
Right.
Because didn't they just win last year or something? I feel like they might have just won.
Yeah.
I don't want to seem like that guy. So I'm going to go Pittsburgh Maulers. I fucking love that name.
Okay. I am riding with... I'm going to tell you right now, USFL, you need to change the name of Memphis's. Please. The Memphis Showboats.
Yeah, come on.
Come on,
man.
Do better. Do better. Music, I don't care if you say Memphis Miracles. I don't even care. Anything. But Showboats, come on. I'm going Birmingham Stallions, baby. There's something about that, like that grindy. Like,
I like that, too.
It seems a little like blue collar type of shit.
Yep.
That's where I'm riding mine with. I think Philadelphia won that last year. Or was it Philadelphia? Or was it what you just said, Houston?
For some reason, it might have been between the two. But I was thinking Houston.
Championship. Let's take a look. 'Cause I do want to know. Because then we'll know. Birmingham.
Oh, okay.
Hey, look at that. I picked it before I knew.
Bandwagon, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's all right. My team has a championship.
Hey, exactly.
Are you gonna watch either one of them?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I watched some last year. You know, I made sure even if I didn't have the ability to watch full game, maybe I was on thirds or something and I was tired of shit, I'd at least put my TV on and put it on so that they would get the rating, so that we don't just have them cashing in. You know, I like the thought of having more leagues and shit like that. Places for guys to go, like when they don't quite make the NFL.
Yeah, 100%.
And you still get to see decent quality football. You really do. I mean, the games I watched, the more and more it went, the better and better it got. So my question for you, which one makes it? Because there's no way both of these two leagues make it together at the same time.
USFL.
You don't think the XFL will make it through with?
Nah, I think they're trying with The Rock, but that was a desperation move.
Yeah.
You know, bringing him on. No, I don't think so, man.
I'm with you, too. I want the XFL to. I do. USFL got the year jump on them because they were in the middle of their buying it and all that stuff, and they would have to crunch in all that to try to launch off a season with the USFL. So they already have a jump on them. And they have a bunch of TV rights, like Fox Sports, and like they have like who's the other one? They have another major contributor that gets the USFL games on there.
Okay.
Now, ESPN does have some of the XFL ones. I think ESPN. I thought the USFL had some too on there though, but they have a part. They do have the XFL does have the partnership. I don't know if you remember that with the NFL for like they will be the experimental league for them. They'll do the weird rule changes and try it there. They'll do the new equipment. Like, hey, we'll try this equipment. So basically, they're going to be the guinea pig.
Oh, man.
So that's where I think I don't know where they're going to end up. I think it's going to be the USFL. But I'm interested to see, you know.
Yeah.
The USFL, one little note, is that when they signed their players, they signed them to a 2-year contract on purpose. Because they knew the XFL was coming this season. So they booked their players.
Well played.
Well played, right?
Jeez.
But the other thing I want to bring up to you, Danny, is I don't know if you saw this, but there is a big deal going on with old Islam Makhachev, who won against Volkanovski, right?
Yeah, did he?
Okay. Go ahead.
I don't
Go ahead.
know.
I didn't get to watch it. I was out of town.
That's a really good example of that probably should have been a draw.
Okay.
Like, if anything, I think Volk won. I think Volk had the edge, to be honest. But there's no way you can say Islam won that fight. Look at his face. This is one of those fights. You look at the fighters, and at the end of that fight, if there was another round, he would have been destroyed. Volk was ready to go 5 more rounds, you know?
The machine?
Yeah.
The machine.
You know what says the most after that fight? Pound for pound number 1. Who is it?
Volkanovski.
Yeah. He's still pound for pound number 1. He won that fight, man. But, Islam is obviously a stud. I think Volk is fucking top of the world right now.
Yeah.
So Islam is obviously really good.
Yeah.
No discredit to him. It was a fucking awesome fight. But, man, I didn't like that. I'm pretty jacked to watch Volk, though, in that division. He's going to smoke everybody and come back for Islam again. Yeah. And we're going to see another phenomenal fight. That's
good. That one I'm going to make sure I watched. Like I said, I was out of town. Don't appreciate that I didn't get to watch that because I was excited about that. Two big time dudes, and it was. I wonder if they'll keep Islam out of that the longer they can now. If it was that close,
let
and if
them
it
both
wasn't,
build momentum and come at each other or something.
Maybe if it does happen to be like towards the end of their careers type of shit, like, you know what I mean? Because we know that he wants money, right? Who's his cash cow right now? I'm not saying it's Islam right now, but he knows what Dana and the league know what to do to try to build themselves money financially, right? They don't want to lose Islam because when you think Islam, you're thinking you tied to Khabib, right? So I don't know if they actually want them to face off again, or maybe they do. Now I'm on the fence, but either way. My point is I don't know if you saw this, though, is that Makhachev is being accused of using an IV to rehydrate, which is illegal. He does risk, so I'm looking at this right now. Dan Hooker, that's who. Dan Hooker's recent allegations that Makhachev used the IV drip to rehydrate after weigh-in. If it is found to be that he did, obviously he'd forfeit that, and there'd be a 2-year suspension. I didn't realize hydration like that was like, I understand the PEDs. I didn't know there was that much restriction on how you juice yourself back up.
Yeah, and I think the idea is around like they want guys to avoid cutting so much weight. Islam's a lot bigger. I mean, you saw the two next to each other.
Yeah.
He's way bigger than Volk, right?
Yeah.
He's naturally just way bigger. And so they're trying, like, I think as a way for them to try to stop guys from cutting so much weight, they took away the IV. Because that's just a really quick way to get hydrated again and things like that and get your weight back up. But, man, that would be huge if he did that. Holy cow.
Yeah, 2-year suspension if that happens. That like Jesus. I'm seeing a picture of his weigh-in, and he looks sickly, actually.
Yeah.
Makachev does.
Yeah.
I didn't see what he looked like at fight night. Did he look healthier?
Yeah. I mean, he looked fine, but at the end of the fight, he was gassed, man.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of it, right? Cutting that much weight to make weigh-ins, and then next night you're fighting. Like, that's a tough life.
I think that's the way I go, right? Like, you can remind me, but I tend to go with the guy that's coming up versus the guy coming down.
Right.
Because your natural weight is where I believe you should try to fight. And if you're shedding any, it shouldn't be more than like a weight class worth. Like, you know what I'm getting at. Like,
yeah.
But when you plummet down, it always works to the benefit of the person that's coming up, because they get to basically do their natural routine and then add a few more calories to their natural routine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is sickly right here. And then you're wasting energy for that too, because you're trying to get down to make this to be a professional. And
if you think you can recover full to 100% the next day, you're insane.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If you had 2 days, maybe.
Right.
Maybe. But yeah, I don't know. They should have just been like, hey, let's do catch weight. I think I'm a bad motherfucker. You think you are? Let's just bang it out. And how come we don't have that?
You can do catch weights for sure.
Well, you can, but I mean, there should be a title for it.
Yeah, they just need more weight classes, man.
They do.
They're so spread out. When you talk about 15, 20 pounds, and you're in the middle of that, what are you doing? Are you going to gain weight, or are you going to just go ahead and lose 10, 12 pounds for the next fight? Like, it's so hard. That's why guys cut a lot of weight, dude.
Right. So, add more classes in?
Yeah.
I got you. Yes, sir. You got anything else on your mind?
No, man. I think that's the big thing. Let's see. Seems like the landing spot for Westbrook is the Clippers, by the way. They're, like, actively recruiting him.
That, to me, is actually pretty interesting. Two guys. I know you're not sold on this. Just let me try to sell you on this, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Two guys that are okay with not having the ball in their hands. Who are
they? Kevin Durant. Are you talking about on the Clippers, or what are you talking
on the Clippers?
On the Clippers?
On the Clippers.
Yeah, Kawhi and Paul George, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Never seen them like where they needed to have the ball, right? Now you add a guy that gives you 120%. He has a vendetta to do against the same team that is right in the same city.
He doesn't have to move.
Doesn't have to move. And you're probably back to a starting role, re-energize him, and I think this could work out for them. I don't think championship. That is what I'm saying. I'm not going as crazy as saying some stupid shit like that. But what I am saying that I think this move would be intriguing for both of them. I think the Clippers would help them bang through the playoffs. I don't think they have enough to get to, even with Russell or whatever, has diminished what he's diminished a little bit because of his athleticism, because he's getting older, right? That isn't enough to take on the Suns, who are probably the favorite now in the West. The Nuggets. I don't even think they're good enough for the Nuggets, but I think they could make some noise to get there. To
the
Mavs.
Those are really the teams we're talking about.
I'm really interested. So those three, right? Is that what we're thinking? We're thinking Mavs, we're thinking Suns, and we're thinking Nuggets. Nuggets is if they would have to learn how to win. Like, they're there. They have the talent. I think they have the talent. Jamal Murray, him, Porter. I always forget about the other dude, too. I always forget that he's there now. Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
So they have pieces there. They just need to learn how to win in those high, tense situations and stay healthy. They tend to lose a guy or two, like, when it comes down to that, right?
Yeah.
But it's down to those three. But I think the Clippers could make some noise, at least, is what I'm getting at. Like,
They're deep, man. I like the Clippers. If Russ, it's all about if he fits, right?
Right.
He's got to be able to fit. If he could do like what he did with the Lakers in the second half of this season so far, fuck yeah, they could be great.
He found. Kudos to him. Maybe we haven't said that enough. Kudos to Russell Westbrook because he took a pounding in LA. Everyone always beat it on him, right? I've never seen him as such a beating post in my life. Even when he was controversial with Oklahoma City, like with what he would say in the press conferences, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen someone it's all his fault. And I'm like, that's the LeBron James effect. Like, it's not his fault. And you guys are making it uncomfortable for him too. So now he didn't have a 3-point shot before. Now you made it even worse because now he's in his head.
Yep.
When he came off the bench, kudos to him that he ate that pill, he swallowed that pill, and then he embraced it. He's like, you know what? I have a little mini Oklahoma City Thunder when I was the MVP. I get to run this squad, and he was still almost averaging a triple-double off the bench, you know?
Yeah.
You know, high numbers. So, interested to see. I guess we were going to.
Let me give you one more baby thing. Now,
Okay.
I just thought of this. We did not mention the Memphis Grizzlies. Okay? And a big.
I would say, why are you bringing it up?
So this is awesome. I saw you mentioned people's faces getting clipped and stuff and everything. So I wanted to bring this up. So John Morant's got a lot of shit going on, right? Including he was in the vehicle of a potential drive-by and things like this. Like all sorts of crazy shit, right?
Jesus.
Yeah. Or it wasn't even, I apologize, it wasn't a drive-by. It was, there was some kind of fight or something. And then him and his boys left the bar. And when they drove by the group that there was a fight with or whatever, there was a laser pointed at the people. So one would think it's potentially a gun, right? And Ja was in the vehicle with these people. So there's a lot of kind of gangster feel that Ja is giving off, which is really funny because I saw this video of, do you remember 8 Mile? When he goes off that at the very end, when he's like, you said that you're a gangster, your real name's Clarence. It was with Ja because he grew up in like a upper middle class family, went to an Ivy League school, like all of this type of stuff. And it's like showing pictures of him in his life and it plays that song, dude. Like his real name's not even Ja. It's something starts with a T, I think, or something. It's something like,
shut up.
Like a
Are you
Clarence
kidding me
type
right
of
now?
name. No, I'm dead serious. Yeah, and it went off about that. I'm like, I'm dying when I watch this. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
I'm looking this up after the
Yeah.
podcast. Oh my God.
Awesome.
I need to see that. He has so much. I thought you were going a different route. That's hilarious. I thought you were going with the route where he said, like, when they sat down with him. You remember that? And they're like, well, who's your threats or who are you trying to live up to right now in the league today? Like, who are you trying to play up to get to that championship level? Probably Boston. What about anyone? What about the Western teams? Yeah, not worried about the West.
Oh man,
Brother, like
rough.
it is a down year, right? It's a down year for the West compared to previous years, right?
Yeah.
Until all these trades just happened. Now the West is kind of mighty again. You know, I mean, if Kyrie and Luka make this shit work, they're legitimate. They're a legitimate force, right? Everyone stays healthy with the Suns. If the Nuggets, you know, stay healthy is their main thing, and then learn to win. And then Memphis has been doing nothing but falling off. Did you notice ever since the Shannon Sharp incident when he was on the court and shit? But I just think it's funny. I thought you were going that route. Like he couldn't. Ever since he just can't. I liked when he was more humble, and all of a sudden this year it doesn't seem like he is. I think that star part has kind of hit him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Maybe
definitely.
we saw the beginning of the star part, and like you can rewind back to the time. Like, yep, John Morant was the man. He was a laid back dude, and every type of, you know, get along. And then this is the moment right here where he changed, where I'm above everybody. You know, but I thought you were going a different route. I'm looking that up. That's hilarious.
Denver, I've got a little bit in my heart for Denver. I want to see him do good. You know, we like to write Denver off because they're usually not great in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Jokic could win his third straight MVP. He's averaging a triple dub, bro.
Yeah.
This is like his best of his the last 3 years. There's only been 2 people to win 3 straight MVPs. He could be the third in NBA history to do that. How crazy would it be to do that, and then you top it off, you finally get into the chip, maybe win a chip,
right? At least play in the championship. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for him too. I'm a bigger Denver guy than like you and whoever we usually have sitting in the middle anymore. But but I know that it's usually injury plagued, and then it feels like it's always just him when it gets to the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
If all these guys stay healthy, I think they do have a shot. I really do. And he's playing stupid.
Yeah.
Right? Stupid good. In defense of what we should be saying, though, our guy LeBron should have like 3 or 4 or 5 in a row.
Yeah.
And definitely during the Heat one. That first one, I will never forget. I don't care about all the rest, okay? I'm not going to debate any other ones, but there's one in specific that bugs me to this day that he should have been the MVP. Do you know which year that was?
I'm trying to think back to who won. Oh, Derrick Rose, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
the first year in Miami, he rubbed the media the wrong way with the taking my talents, right? And he averaged everything by far higher than Derrick Rose. By far. Derrick Rose averaged like 25, 5 and 4 or some shit like that. 5 and 5. LeBron averaged 28.
8 and 8, probably
8 and 8.
the usual.
25, 8 and 8, and at the highest field goal percentage that he ever had, because that's where he started learning like better in the post. His 3-point shot started coming around a little bit. His best 3-point shooting season was still a year or two away. That's when Ray Allen kind of took him under the wing there. But regardless, his stats were through the roof.
Yeah.
And didn't win MVP just because the media.
And that could happen to Jokic
when they get bored, right?
Yeah.
That's what it all comes down to. I hope they don't. When you are the best player, when you're the most valuable player, it's usually pretty clear cut, right?
I agree.
I mean, maybe you can make an argument for Embiid and stuff like that. Like he's kind of right there when that was going on. And then who was it early on where we thought it was a slam dunk? Was it Luka?
Luka's still,
he's still in the conversation, but like what he did for that 1 month or whatever it was stupid, right? Yeah. Well, before we get to the end of our show here, we do need to bring up one thing, and that is Mr. Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, man, wild.
Going to the Commanders as their new offensive coordinator. I want your thoughts quick. And I do have a pretty good thought on this one.
It's what he had to do. He had to prove himself. And now he has a chance to prove himself. He's got a good receiver, potentially a good quarterback, a good young quarterback, really good running backs. It's his chance to prove himself and ultimately become a head coach.
You practically did take the words out then. Because that's mine. It's like this is something you almost had to do. It sucks that you had to do it probably with Washington, like where you didn't get to like do a little bit more of a lateral move. It would have been better to see him go up to like the Jets, especially if they get like a Derek Carr up there. Then you have a proven quarterback. You have bright young receivers, damn good running backs back there. That one probably would have been his best move, in my opinion. But you had to. I don't agree with Stephen A. Smith very often, but you seen his little rant probably about a couple days ago?
No, I didn't see this one.
Well, I don't watch First Take. I just see it like when I'm scrolling through ESPN, and if one catches my eye, then I watch. But he said that Andy Reid was held Eric Bieniemy back of being a head coach, and he's not wrong, because his point is, and he's 1,000% correct, is Eric Bieniemy may be the offensive coordinator, but he's not the one calling the plays all the time. Eric Bieniemy may be calling some plays, or calling half, or calling 75%, or even 90% in a particular game or most of the games. But you know that Andy Reid is saying, like, making the calls on certain shit and doing this, that, and the other. And you know that he's doing it, as in like Andy Reid kind of lets it be known, like I do, like this is what. Like you're kind of stunting him, and you're letting other NFL teams know that you can't trust him to just make the call all the time. This stuff happens in headsets throughout the NFL on a regular basis. There may be an offensive coordinator. He may be making the plays. He may only make the plays 75% of the time. Or the head coach, the head coach is always in the ear. I want to see this play. I want to see this ran so many times. I want stuff like that. In this moment, I want this ran. Happens all the time. How often do you actually hear about it? You always think it's the offense coordinator that just flat out calls the game plan, right?
Yeah.
it seems like the cat's out of the bag with Eric Bieniemy. That's not the case. Like everyone knows that you're butting in.
He's had 15 head coaching interviews, dude, and he hasn't gotten one.
Right.
Clearly, the cat's out of the bag. Yeah, I agree.
Right. There's either something like that or he's a poor interviewer, right?
Right.
So I'm liking the shot that he needs to separate himself a little bit. I'm sure he's very thankful of his opportunity up there and everything that he was able to learn. But it is time for him to spread his wings. We'll see what he can do.
Yeah.
I hope he gets It's a tough situation because we don't know who the quarterback's going to be. We don't know if it's going to be a veteran when we go through the quarterback carousel. We don't know if it's going to be a young quarterback that they bring in, but this will be the separating factor. This is your moment, your life in a nutshell, right? Like if you ball out or if your offense is above average with a young quarterback, yeah, that's proof for you, right? That's on your resume enough to where like, hey, I did this myself now. When you go do your head coaching interviews, is this proof enough for you?
Yeah, hopefully. I could see a world where Washington's kind of meh, like they tend to always be, and Kansas City doesn't miss a beat, and then that just is worse, that hurts him worse, you know? So I don't know.
Actually, you're right, because that'd make it even way worse, because if Reed's calling the plays, they'd be like, and they don't miss a beat, then it's like, well, what were you doing in Kansas City?
Right.
So it's true that Andy Reid is calling the plays.
Right.
But, so he's got to knock this out of the park, you're saying then?
Yeah, he's got to do very well.
He's got to do very well. Okay. Well, my man, unless you had anything else, do you have a Make Sense?
Oh, let's see if I could drum one up. Yeah, I could do one. Let's roll with it. We're going to talk about my fucking cat. Okay?
Okay. All right.
So we got a puppy about a month ago or so now. And ever since that point, for whatever reason, this fucking cat of ours, this cat's cool as shit. We don't have a problem with her. She's been great for the last couple of years. All of a sudden, she starts pissing in the house. And we're like, what the fuck is going on? And we caught her once or twice. We weren't sure, but then we figured out because we thought maybe the puppy was pissing, right?
Yep.
And we caught her, and we're like, no, get the fuck out of here, whatever. Scolded her, and we're like, all right, let's pay attention. And then we caught her doing it again. So we're like, nope, we can't do this. We're trying to figure out what do we got to do with her. And then we had a nice stretch of days where it was like 40 degrees. I'm like, all right, she's just going to be an outside cat. Like, it'll be fine, whatever. So threw her outside, and she kept coming up to the door, trying to come in. And the next day, it was so cold outside. So cold. I started to feel like a piece of shit. I'm like, I don't want the kids to come outside and our fucking cat is like dead. And it's because, right out on the sidewalk, and it's because we threw the cat outside. I'm like, damn it. I'm like, all right, fine. Come in. We'll see if you learned your lesson. Whatever. And then talked to my wife, and we were trying to figure out how to, know at nighttime if she pissed in that same spot. I'm like, well, we got puppy pads. Let's throw in there and see if she pisses on it, whatever. Woke up the next day, sure as shit, pissed all over it, just covered in piss. Scratched it up and everything like she's kicking rocks, over the piss and whatever from the cat litter. And we're like, all right, nope, not a chance. Threw her outside again. Luckily now it's warm, so I won't have this little bit of a guilt trip, but it won't matter anymore. But I guess long story short, if a cat pisses in your house one time, that's a wrap because they will not stop.
Right.
You've had this experience as well.
I have. So I can live with this one with you. It does not stop. Our cat got a taste of outside and wouldn't come back for days. We tried it. Like, my daughter loved this cat. My daughter would go try to hunt this cat, find this cat. So it wasn't anything like that. But every time he cracked the door, just dart after we get back. The cat became so strange with outside, right? Or loved the outside or whatever the scenario, that it became what is considered feral, right? Came in, and even with a clean, so the first time, clean litter box, the litter box is full because my daughter forgot to clean it. I don't want cats, so I don't clean the damn litter box. That ain't happening. But it's chucked full, and so the cat pissed or shit or something on the there was a towel on the floor or something. Couldn't get mad because I'm like, when I go look at the kitty litter box, I'm like, okay, understandable. That's what cats do, right? Nope, doesn't matter. Clean, fresh stuff. And it literally did not care. It would come up and it would shit right in front of us.
Oh, jeez.
Not even try to hide it. Literally right in front. I'm like, I'll kill you. I don't even like cats. Get the fuck out. The final straw with ours was, she almost died legitimately. So it got stuck in the red, my little red shed that.
Oh yeah,
right there. Well, there was like a little hole right down, must have been where some animals at some point had kind of dug underneath that. Well, she tried to get up in there when she had ran out the door. She got stuck there, and my son, of all people, kind of hear like a faint meowing because we hadn't seen her in days. Finally goes over there. It's like behind a bush because there's a bush right there too, so you can't see anything. Finally, he starts digging around. He sees the cat stuck right there. Been stuck there. It looks like because it got thin. Bring it in. Cat shits and pisses. I'm like, nope, we're not doing this shit.
What?
Yep. Shit and pisses right there. Clean litter box, everything. And we have multiple kitty litter boxes. We had 2 cats, right? Nope. Talked to a buddy of mine. I'm like, hey, you got a farm. You got mice, right? Yep. You want an outdoor cat to help the mice control? Yes, sir. So I know exactly what you're talking about. It won't get better. After they've already hit that, they think it's okay. And cats actually get more bitchy. I'm telling you. Yeah. They're not like dogs or you like scold them and then they feel bad or whatever. Cats are like,
you telling me what to do?
Yeah, like shit.
Excuse me?
Yeah, excuse me.
No. So cats, like all we ask you to do, piss and shit in the litter box. Okay? We provide you food. We provide you a home, warmth, everything. You don't give a shit? You're telling me you're just going to piss in the house? Guess what, bitch? You're living on the streets now.
Yep. Go
live with the Ninja Turtles and figure your life out. Definitely makes sense if you don't think about it.
It definitely makes sense if you don't think about it. As soon as you said that, I was just thinking of the mutagen. If that cat gets into it, the cat's going to come back and fuck you up.
Oh, yeah. And that cat's already huge. Right. So she's going to be a 400-pound fucking bear coming at me. Jesus.
But, yeah.
All right, brother. Let's wrap this bad boy up. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful people out there, if you happen to find us on the interwebs anywhere, be sure to like, subscribe, share, the whole 9 yards. We really appreciate it. But where's the podcast available, Jimmer?
Anywhere and everywhere podcasts are available. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, everywhere else in between, and YouTube.
YouTube. Absolutely. And we love to tell a good story. Doesn't matter what it's about. Funny stories are usually the best, but we get serious once in a while, too. Yeah. If you've got one, let us know. What should they do, though, Jimmer?
Hit us up in our DMs. And, God, if you have a good conspiracy theory, too, get our itch. Right? I'm all about that. But, yeah, hit us in our DMs. We'll tell the story for you. Names in, out, don't matter.
Yeah, tell you what, if it's juicy enough, we might send you some swag, too. Yeah. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So
hit us up.
We got some towels, some bottles, some buckets, some shirts. Let's do this.
Let's do it, baby.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This is 3 Gig Sports.
We out.